Hey, future real estate pros! I hope you're ready to test your knowledge with today's video. My name is Maggie and I am your guide to mastering the real estate exam. If you watched our last video, this one right here, on the top 20 real estate vocabulary terms, then you're in the right place. If not, you may want to check that video out first and then come back to this video. So I'll leave it linked in the description box below for you. But if you're feeling brave, today, we're going to put your knowledge to the test with our 20 practice questions that are sure to sharpen your skills and boost your confidence for exam day. Remember, every question you answer correctly brings you one step closer to acing your real estate exam. So grab your notebook and something to write with, and let's dive right in. Number 1. Limitations that allow the former owner to maintain control over how the property is utilized even after transferring title to another is called A. Zoning regulations, B. Deed restrictions, C. Promissory note, or D. Building variance. And the answer is B. Deed restrictions. Deed restrictions are limitations or covenants placed in a deed by the seller or developer that dictate how the property can be used by future owners. These restrictions run with the land, meaning they apply to all subsequent owners and can control aspects such as the type of structure allowed, property use, or other stipulations, even after the title is transferred. Number 2. A once popular mall has lost many tenants due to new shopping trends and the rise of online retail, causing its value to drop. This can be considered A. Physical obsolescence, B. Economic obsolescence, C. Functional obsolescence, or D. Legal obsolescence. And the answer is B, economic obsolescence. Economic or external obsolescence is a loss of property value due to negative external factors like neighborhood changes or nearby developments that are beyond the owner's control. Number 3. David agrees to sell his property to Lisa, but changes his mind and refuses to go through with the sale. Lisa really wants the property and insists on enforcing the terms of the contract. What legal remedy can Lisa seek to force David to complete the sale? Is it A. Liquidated damages, B. Monetary compensation, C. Specific performance, or D. Contract termination? And the answer is C. Specific performance. Specific performance is a legal remedy in which a court orders a party to fulfill their obligations under a contract rather than just paying damages. It's commonly used in real estate transactions when a seller or buyer fails to complete the sale. Number 4. Emily, a 16-year-old, signs a contract to purchase a property. Later, she decides she no longer wants to buy it. What is the status of the contract and what can Emily do? Is it A, the contract is void and Emily is legally bound to it? B, the contract is voidable and Emily can choose to cancel it? C, the contract is valid and Emily must proceed with the purchase? Or D, the contract is automatically canceled because Emily is a minor? The answer is B. The contract is voidable, and Emily can choose to cancel it. A contract entered into by a minor is considered voidable by the minor because minors are generally not considered to have the legal capacity to fully understand and agree to the terms and obligations of a contract. Number 5. A real estate appraiser is valuing a single-family home in a residential neighborhood. He looks at recent sales of similar homes in the area to estimate its value. Which approach to value is the appraiser using? Is it A, cost approach, B, income approach, C, sales comparison approach, or D, depreciation approach? The answer is C, sales comparison approach. The sales comparison approach is a method of property valuation that estimates a property's value based on the sale prices of similar properties in the area. It is commonly used for residential real estate because it reflects actual market conditions and buyer preferences. Number 6, Sarah includes a home inspection contingency in her offer to buy a house. The inspection reveals major structural issues. What are Sarah's options under the inspection contingency? Is it A, she must proceed with the purchase regardless of the inspection results? B, she can back out of the contract without penalty? C, she has to pay a penalty for canceling the contract? Or D, she must renegotiate the purchase price to cover repair costs? The answer is B. She can back out of the contract without penalty. A home inspection contingency allows the buyer to cancel the contract if the inspection finds significant issues. This protects Sarah from being forced to buy a home with major structural problems. Number 7, a seller plans to take a custom chandelier with them when they move, but the buyer assumes it is included in the sale because it's installed in the dining room. What scenario best describes this situation? Is it A, the chandelier is personal property and can be removed? B, the chandelier is a fixture and must be included in the sale if it was not specifically stated in the sale agreement? C, the chandelier is considered real property only if listed in the sale agreement? Or D, the chandelier's ownership depends on the original price paid? And the answer is B. The chandelier is a fixture and must be included in the sale if it was not specifically stated in the sale agreement. Fixtures are generally considered part of the real property and are included in the sale unless the seller specifically states otherwise in the contract. Since the chandelier is installed in the dining room and there's no mention of its exclusion in the sale agreement, it's considered a fixture and therefore part of the property being sold. Number 8, Jane owns a small convenience store that has operated in a residential neighborhood for 30 years. Recently, the city changed the zoning laws to restrict the area to residential use only. What will happen to Jane's store under the new zoning laws? Is it A, Jane must immediately close her store? B, Jane's store will be converted into a residential property by law? C, Jane needs to apply for a new business license? Or D, Jane can continue operating because her store is now a non-conforming use? And the answer is D. Jane can continue operating because her store is a non-conforming use. Non-conforming use is when a property is used in a way that does not comply with current zoning laws, but is allowed to continue because it was legally established before those rules changed. Now, if a new owner was to come along and take over Jane's store, they would have to comply with the new zoning regulations. Number 9, a group of real estate brokers in a town agreed to set a standard commission rate of 7% for all real estate transactions to prevent competition. What law are these brokers violating by setting a fixed commission rate? Is it A, Fair Housing Act, B, Environmental Protection Law, C, Antitrust Regulations, or D, Real Property Law? And the answer is C, Antitrust Regulations. Antitrust laws prevent price fixing agreements that restrict competition. By agreeing on a fixed 7% commission rate, the brokers are illegally limiting competition, violating antitrust laws. Number 10, Mike is buying a house built in 1970. During the inspection, he asks the seller about potential lead-based paint. The seller states they don't know if there is any lead paint, but gives Mike a booklet on lead hazards. What is Mike entitled to under federal law? Is it A, a 10-day period to conduct a lead-based paint inspection or assessment? B, the seller's guarantee that no lead paint is present? C, a full refund of the home purchase price? Or D, a reduced sale price to cover potential lead paint removal? The answer is A, a 10-day period to conduct a lead-based paint inspection or assessment. Federal law gives buyers of homes built before 1978 the right to a 10-day period to inspect for lead-based paint hazards before completing the purchase. Number 11. Tom is a licensed real estate agent and wants to join a national organization to enhance his credibility and access additional resources. He is considering becoming a realtor. What additional requirement must Tom fulfill to become a realtor? Is it A, obtain a master's degree in real estate? B, join the National Association of Realtors and adhere to its code of ethics? C, complete a separate state licensing exam? Or D, attend annual real estate conventions? And the answer is B. Join the National Association of Realtors and adhere to its code of ethics. A realtor requires more than just holding a real estate license. To use the title realtor, Tom must join the National Association of Realtors, or NAR, which involves agreeing to follow its specific code of ethics and standards of practice. Remember, not every real estate agent is a realtor, but every realtor is a real estate agent. Number 12. Steve wants to convert his single-family home into a duplex to generate rental income. The property is located in an area zoned for single-family residential use only. What should Steve do if he wants to proceed with his plan? Is it A, apply for a zoning variance or special use permit? B, begin construction without notifying the authorities? C, sell the property to someone else? Or D, convert the home but keep one unit vacant? The answer is A, apply for a zoning variance or special use permit. Steve needs to request a zoning variance or a special use permit from the local zoning board. This would allow him to use the property in a way that differs from the existing zoning rules, provided that he meets specific conditions set by the board. Number 13. Rachel pays $1,000 for a 6-month option to buy a parcel of land at a fixed price of $150,000. 4 months later, she decides to exercise the option and buy the land. What must the landowner do in this situation? Is it A, negotiate a new sale price? B, refund the $1,000 option fee? C, refuse to sell and keep the option fee? Or D, sell the land to Rachel at the agreed upon price of $150,000? The answer is D, sell the land to Rachel at the agreed upon price of $150,000. Remember, an option contract is a binding agreement where the seller agrees to keep the property available for purchase at a set price within a specific time frame. Since Rachel exercised her option within the 6-month period, the landowner is legally obligated to sell the land to Rachel at the pre-agreed upon price of $150,000. Moving right along to number 14. John signs an exclusive right to sell listing agreement with a real estate agent to sell his house. A week later, John's friend offers to buy the house directly without the agent's involvement. Who is entitled to the commission in this scenario? Is it A, John's friend because they are buying the house directly? B, John because he found the buyer himself? C, the real estate agent because of the exclusive right to sell agreement? Or D, no one because the agent didn't find the buyer? The answer is C, the real estate agent, because of the exclusive right to sell listing agreement. An exclusive right to sell agreement guarantees the agent a commission regardless of who finds the buyer. Even though John found the buyer himself, the agreement means that the agent is still entitled to the commission as the agent has the exclusive right to sell the property during the listing period. How we doing? Just a few more. Here we go. In an adjustable rate mortgage, or ARM, which component is used to determine the changes in the interest rate over time? Is it A, amortization schedule, B, down payment, C, index, or D, loan origination fee? And the answer is C, index. In an adjustable rate mortgage, or an ARM, the interest rate is typically tied to an external financial benchmark known as an index. The index reflects general market interest rates, and as it changes, the interest rate on the mortgage adjusts accordingly. Number 16. When can private mortgage insurance, or PMI, typically be removed from a conventional loan? Is it A, when the borrower makes all payments on time for 2 consecutive years? B, when the borrower has accumulated at least 10% equity in the home? C, when the home value decreases below the original purchase price? Or D, when the borrower has built up at least 22% equity in the home based on the original purchase price? And the answer is D, when the borrower has built up at least 22% equity in the home based on the original purchase price. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, is typically required until the borrower has 22% equity. At that point, lenders automatically cancel PMI, as the risk of default is considered lower when the borrower has more equity in the home. Number 17. A real estate agent tells homeowners in a neighborhood that they should sell their homes quickly because a new immigrant community is moving in and property values will drop. What illegal practice is the agent engaging in? Is it A, steering, B, blockbusting, C, commingling, or D, zoning violation? And the answer is B, blockbusting. Blockbusting is an illegal practice that involves encouraging homeowners to sell their properties quickly and often at a lower price by suggesting that the entry of a particular racial, ethnic, or social group into the neighborhood will lead to a decline in property values. Number 18. What document serves as the written promise to repay a loan, outlining the terms and conditions of repayment, including the loan amount, interest rate, and payment schedule? Is it A, mortgage, B, deed, C, promissory note, or D, title? And the answer is C, promissory note. A promissory note is a legal document that contains a written promise by one party, the borrower, to repay a specific sum of money to another party, the lender or mortgagee, under agreed upon terms. It includes details such as the loan amount, interest rate, repayment schedule, and the maturity date. Number 19. Sarah, a real estate agent, receives a $5,000 earnest money check from her client to hold in escrow. Instead of depositing it into a separate escrow account, she places the check in her personal business account to cover some marketing expenses. What is Sarah guilty of, and what are the potential consequences? Is it A, fraud? She could face criminal charges. B, commingling? She could lose her real estate license. C, negligence? She could be fined. Or D, breach of contract? She could face civil litigation. The answer is B, commingling. She could lose her real estate license. Remember that commingling occurs when a real estate agent improperly mixes clients' funds, such as earnest money, with their personal or business funds. This practice is illegal as it violates fiduciary responsibility, putting clients' money at risk. And number 20. In a real estate contract, what term refers to a predetermined amount of money agreed upon by both parties that will be paid as compensation if one party breaches the contract? Is it A, punitive damages, B, liquidated damages, C, specific performance, or D, compensatory damages? And the answer is B, liquidated damages. Liquidated damages refers to a specific amount of money that is agreed upon in advance by both parties in a contract, which will serve as compensation if one party breaches the agreement. All right, you just tackled 20 key practice questions and strengthened your understanding of essential real estate terms. Remember, consistent practice is the key to success. Let me know how you did in the comment section. If you want to dive even deeper and totally understand all the vocabulary and the math you may see on the exam, make sure to check out my ePower Trio bundle linked in the description box below. These ebooks are good for all states and will help you further your understanding and help you crush your real estate exam on the first try. Keep studying hard, and before you know it, you'll be celebrating that you got your real estate license. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new tip or practice session. See you the next time, and remember, just call me Maggie for all your real estate exam prep needs.